friends, be you cyborgs, insectoids, Glevin, Koi, Terrans, or other interplanetary creatures, to this week's episode of Science Fiction Fantasies. To be an orphan can be a heart-wrenching experience. The orphan often dreams of being reunited. This week's story is about such an occurrence. Sit back and relax, if you can, and enjoy Lupe's Reunion.
The Dillman chapter of the Society of Galactic Terrans extends its arms in warm envelopment for its newest member, Lupe Martine. Lupe is an honored and cherished addition to our family. Join me in wishing her a long and loving time with us.
Lupe rose from her seat. The warm flush rushing through her body gave her eyes a dreamy appearance. All was right with the galaxy.
Your scheduled time has expired.
The conference room and crowd depixelated, leaving a dull gray room crisscrossed with a silvery matrix grid.
See the program administrator to schedule your next time slot. Thank you. We hope your session has been beneficial.
I should have scheduled back-to-back sessions. I will next time. Oh, Professor Mangle.
Lupe, I'm glad I found you. I have good news.
Good news? Really? Tell me, Professor Mangle. Quickly.
I've received a correspondence from the Committee of Colony Selection.
Professor, do not tease me. Tell me.
You have been accepted.
That is supernova! When? What position?
Botanist, junior level on the Jamestown.
Botanist? Oh, thank you, thank you. I can't believe it. It's a dream come true, an answer to my prayers. When do I report?
The staff is being assembled for training as we speak. You report next lunar.
There's a but, isn't there?
Nothing serious. However, since you are still a minor, there is a requirement for parental permission to begin training.
So what's the problem? They know I'm an orphan. You'll sign for me, won't you? You're my guardian.
Rounding the curve in the space station's corridor, a cyborg, more metal than man, approaches. Lupe cringes away from him, flattening herself against the bulkhead until he passes.
Do you still have nightmares?
Yes. I still see the metal man hitting my daddy. He caused that explosion that killed my mama.
Do you remember anything after that?
No, Professor Mangle. The dream's always in right there.
I thought the dreams had subsided.
They have, but I still don't like the metal man. That's not wrong, is it?
No, child. You do realize that there will be cyborgs on the Jamestown.
I know, but I'm lots better.
You are indeed. Still, I don't want you to get your hopes up too far.
What do you mean? I thought you said I was accepted. It won't be a problem.
I hope not. Lupe, child, we found your father. He's alive.
My daddy?
Yes. Somehow, in all the confusion after the incident, he was mistaken for another. As part of your application to the Committee of Colony Selection, a DNA check was made and your father was found. He's been working as a deep space pilot for all these years.
But...
It was a surprise to him, too. He had no memory when he came to, and the person he was mistaken for had no family. After the DNA match, Space Authority ran more tests. It was proven, beyond a doubt. He was told about you and your application. Before he gave his permission for you to join the colony ship, he wanted to talk to you first. He will be here tomorrow.
He's coming here?
Yes, and he's excited to see you.
My daddy's alive! What's he like? Have you seen him? Why didn't he visit? Wait, he didn't know. Oh, I'm so excited.
So is he, or so I've been told. You run along now. You're in no state to attend any classes. I've reserved more time on the holodeck if you want it. One last thing. Your father was on the scouting mission that explored Miraka. He could tell you about your new home. Have fun.
Lupe had returned to her quarters with her head spinning. Her emotional roller coaster rendered her unable to concentrate on even the simplest task. After a time, she found herself back at the holodeck, thankful that the professor had arranged for her to have all the time she wanted. Inside, she found a contoured chair. On it lay a tiara-shaped neural accentuator.
Welcome, Lupe. Have a seat. What program would you like to run?
I don't know. Tomorrow I'm gonna meet my father for the first time, and I'm nervous.
I have a program to relax you. Are you comfortable? Lie back and put on the tiara. Now close your eyes and imagine your father.
Her surroundings changed. She found herself in the terminal area of the space station's docking port. Walking through the arrival airlock was a handsome Latino man.
Daddy!
Lupe, my daughter, I am home. I am so glad to see you. I've thought of nothing but you for a long time. I'll never leave you alone again.
I love you, Daddy.
And I love you, baby.
The terminal area swirled. Lupe and her father sat in the pilot chairs of a deep space probe. He wore a pilot suit and had a sonic laser pistol strapped to his leg. Baldricks crisscrossed his chest, giving him the look of a dashing hero. In the center of the screen sparkled a beautiful blue and green planet.
We spent days exploring the dense foliage, searching for the beast. I wasn't going to allow any creatures to threaten my daughter. We finally found it, curled around her cubs in a patch of Nepeta cataria. The plant makes her harmless and complacent. I secured plenty of seeds and planted them around your work areas. I won't have my daughter being in any kind of danger, not ever again.
Oh, Daddy, I love you.
And I love you too, darling.
Lupe's world swirled again. This time, it settled into the lounge of the Committee of Colony Selection.
You understand, Lupe, that when we selected you, we thought you were an orphan. Now it seems that you actually have a father. We're going to have to reconsider your appointment.
Mrs. Beatty, I have read over the requirements for your trip. I have also noted that you have an opening for a shuttle pilot on the colony ship. My credentials are impeccable.
Daddy, you would volunteer to go just to be with me?
Of course, darling. Now that I have found you, I would move heaven and earth to stay by your side. Or even a bureaucrat or two.
Oh, Daddy, I love you.
And I love you too, sweetheart.
It is time to wake up. It is time to wake up. Your session is over. It is time to wake up.
Lupe opened her eyes. The holodeck had terminated the program. She stared at the dull gray room, a lazy smile stretched across her face as she remembered the dream, for that had to have been what it was. She took off the tiara and returned to her room. Lupe looked well rested after her session in the holodeck. Her eyes shone with anticipation as she sat on the sofa in Professor Mengel's office, awaiting the arrival of her father. Professor Mengel sat behind his desk, looking reserved.
Are you ready, Lupe? At any moment, your father may walk through the door.
I'm very ready, Professor.
What do you think you are going to do when you first see him?
I'm going to jump into his arms and hug him and hug him. It will be the happiest moment of my life. What's that doing here? Where's my daddy?
Hello, Lupe. You look exceptionally beautiful today, just as I have imagined you. She's fainted. I thought you said you told her.
I did.
I knew I shouldn't have come. I should have let her continue to believe that I was dead. This is all your fault.
Perhaps you were right. I believe that her progress was further along. The dreams have become so infrequent. I truly thought she was stronger.
Well, What are you going to do? I now have to live with this memory, and so does she. I saw the feeds of her dreams on the holodeck. You have ruined them.
I can fix it. But first, I'll take care of you.
Professor Mengel got up from his desk and walked up behind Ernesto. He opened a panel at the top of his head and inserted a probe.
I've thought about it. Now that I've seen her, I don't want to forgive.
I'm afraid the choice is not yours to make. Just here, tweak this here, and that should about do it. Now for Lupe.
The professor walked over to Lupe and lifted her from the floor, placing her on the sofa. He opened a compartment on the back of her skull.
I'm sorry, dear. I probably should have told you long ago, but I thought your AI would integrate with your human psyche much better than this. I'll just erase this episode and we'll start again.
As I mentioned at the beginning, to be an orphan can be a heart-wrenching experience, especially if you are being manipulated by a heartless professor. Lupe's memory was erased. Not all orphans are so fortunate. We hope you have enjoyed this week's episode of Science Fiction Fantasies. We hope your reunions are all memorable and remembered. And as always, keep your head up and dream big. The universe is an awesome place. Good night.